Hi there, some of you have requested some training on Microsoft Teams, so I thought I'd quickly knock up this video. Now this that you can see here is Microsoft Teams desktop. It's not the online version, it's the desktop version of Microsoft Teams. In the desktop version you have a number of buttons on the left hand side, and I'm going to start with the Teams button. Now if I click on the Teams button, I see two teams, WBOP NS Board and the Safer Communities Action and Investment Plan. We are hanging out in the Western Bay of Plenty Neighbourhood Support Board team, and we're generally hanging out in this channel called General. So the team is this option here, and within that team we have a number of channels, and the General channel is where we tend to work. We used to have things in different channels, but things got overlooked and lost, so it's best if we just post things into the General channel. In the General channel across the top here you have a number of tabs. For example, there's an Action Items tab. The Action Items tab is based on our board meetings, and we'll then continue to start including our operational meetings. But basically if any action items come out of a meeting, they're put into this register and they're easily able to be seen in this tab. You can then contact me and say, Kath, can you get rid of 1B, 2C? I've done those action items, and I'll simply update the action items. But if you're curious about what you've been given in terms of an action, it'll be in this action register. Now also at the top you'll see there's another tab, and this is the resolutions. These are the resolutions that have passed at various board meetings, and it just gets added to and added to, the last one being the 12th of August. So you can check any resolutions in here. But of the three tabs, probably Files the most important. Files is where you can actually get access to the various files, say, regarding board meetings. So we've got a number of folders here: AGM meeting stuff, board meeting stuff, even events we're planning, any media information, Papamoa Food Hub, and even strategic plans. So become familiar with the different folders. For example, if I went into the board meetings folder and we just had a board meeting for August, here's the 2024 August folder. Now in the board meetings there'll always be 24 months of board meetings. Anything beyond 24 months will have been moved out of the board meetings, and I'm just using this to navigate, and will have gone into General and gone into archive documents. So in the archive documents is anything old. So I don't tend to delete anything, but I do archive them, and you'll find them in there. Returning to the board meetings, navigating into this folder and then navigating into the August folder, you find all the files regarding, all the background files, background information that we need for that particular board meeting or operational meeting. So I guess we're going to have some operational meeting folders. Let me think about that. What we have in here is a number of files, for example PDF files and Word files. When it comes to files, you can click this action button here and you're able to open them in either Teams, in a browser, whatever browser you use, or in the app in which it came from. So this is a Word document, so we'll open it in the Word app, as opposed to this one, it'll open it in the Excel app. So I always find opening it in the app gives you a true reflection of the document rather than opening in the browser, if that's a possibility. So you've got the opening of documents in the app or Teams. You've also got the ability, if we have a look, to copy a link. If I copy link, this little window, give it a moment, will come up, and then I can go copy, and if I copied that link, I could then go to a chat room, paste the link so that people have quick and easy access and don't have to navigate and try and find the file. So copy, take a copy of a link to that file. You can delete a file in here. You can also rename a file in here. You can also move it to another folder or put a duplicate of it in another folder. Try not to make duplicates, otherwise we don't know which one is the most recent. But opening a file, copying a link to the file, deleting a file, renaming a file, even downloading a file, moving it are common things to do. As far as uploading your own files, we've got an upload button here, and you can simply upload a file or a folder, then simply go to the location where that file resides and then just upload that file into Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams is our filing system. It is backed up. Try not to keep things on your local drives. Do load them up to the board Microsoft Teams so that we have got a record of it. and try to keep things in the right places. Don't try and not to make lots of different folders, because then I've got to try and wrangle it all back together again. If you're unsure, just contact me. But that's the files side of Microsoft Teams. So let's move on to the chat side. When we go to the chat, you can have a conversation with one or more of the members. Now, you may notice on the left-hand side here, I've got a number of recent groups that I chat to. The important thing is to make sure that you're chatting to the right person. So if I want to chat to the board only, I will click this option here and add a chat. If I want to talk to the chair and the treasurer, I'll click this option. And if I just want to talk to Mike Mills, I'll click this option. But if I want to click to chat to the board and the managers and Colleen as well, then I've got this group here. So how do I create these groups so it makes it easy for me to just choose who I want to talk to? If I decide I want to just talk to Colleen, for example, I'll go for a new chat. I'll go up to here and I'll type NS Rangiuru. And let's say I also want to talk to Ngā, so I'll go to NS Tauranga. So I've got two people here. Now, so I can easily identify them on the left-hand side. Notice you've got this V on the right. I can give this group a name. So if you have more than one person, you can actually name the group Ngā and Colleen. And so that will then become an option on the left-hand side here. And then I can just type a message. And notice how I've got Ngā and Colleen as a group. So it makes it really easy to ensure that your chat or your conversation is directed to those who it involves, and not keep pinging everybody's phone with information that doesn't really relate to them. So choose or create your chat group. If I then go to, say, a particular group here, when it comes to writing a chat, it's very easy to type a message and accidentally press enter and off she goes. What I do is I tend to click in the message and press Control-Shift-X. Control-Shift-X actually opens up the message. I can type whatever I want, and I can press enter without the fear of that message suddenly going, and then I'm like, hang on, I wasn't finished what I was saying. Now also, I like to jump between the chat and sometimes the files in Microsoft Teams. So once I've pressed Control-Shift-X and I've got the freedom to press enter, what I also like to do is go up to this little dot here and more chat options and open the chat in a new window. If I open the chat in a new window, let me just bring this into view because it's gone on my other screen. There's the chat in a new window. So I can continue to write whatever I want to write, but then maybe I want to send them a link to a certain file. Here is the file. I'll go now to another window, Teams. I'll go to the folder, the tab Files. I'll go to the folder, maybe Board Meetings. I might go to August, and I might send them this agenda. So I'll hit this ... and I'll take a copy of a link, and I'll have copied it, and then I can jump back to the chat window and I can paste it, and there you see it there. So opening up a chat in a new window makes it easy to navigate between that chat and other things that you want to add, and pressing Control-Shift-X makes it easy for you to press enter, knowing that that message is not going to go until you actually hit send, which if you're looking for a shortcut key is Control-Enter. I may even decide I don't want to send it now because it pings everybody's phone and maybe it's an unusual time in the morning or whatever. I will right click the send and I'll actually schedule it to be sent on a certain day and a certain time. So I hope that sort of helps with creating chats. So let me just get out of here. I'm just going to delete that with the little trash can. Do you want to discard it? Discard it. Close with the little X in the top right corner. Close that chat window. Close this here. And I'm back to Microsoft Teams. Okay, what else do I want to share with you? I was thinking I also need to say that when you're in the chat and you receive a chat from somebody, say Mike, I can react to it with a thumbs up, a heart, a happy face. Sometimes when the chat gets a little bit busy and you want to reply to a specific chat, we've got a reply option here, which allows you just to reply to that particular comment so it's not misassociated with another comment. Let's move on to the calendar. So when I go to the calendar, what I can do here is I can click on a meeting and I can join it. Or if somebody says to me, look, I can't make the meeting, can you send me a link to that meeting? As long as that meeting has been created as an online meeting, then you can take a copy of the link to that meeting, put it in an email just by clicking this, put it in an email and send it to that person. They can then click that link and they can join the meeting as well. So that's how you send a link to the people. That's how you join the meeting. If I need to edit the meeting, click this, click edit. If I need to edit the meeting, I will simply go into edit and make some changes. I'll just close, it's not a good example. Let me say I want to create a meeting. I'm going to click here and a window will immediately come up. And if it didn't, I could click the new meeting button in the top right corner here to make a new meeting. I give it a title, test meeting, and then I add the attendees. So let's go for Colleen again, for example, Ines Rangi Uru. Let's go for Mike Mills. Here we go. And let's go for Kathy. So when you type a few letters, it should bring up the person you want to send it to. In terms of people, Kathy is info. Dave Hodge is Otamotai. Wayne is treasurer. So you have to know what to type. Wayne is treasurer. So that's Kathy. Me, that's secretary. And why is it not coming up with secretary? Probably because I'm creating the meeting. So I'm not coming up. But I am secretary. Linda is Omanu. All right, so there you are there. Bruce is Papamoa. And not guest or not these extra ones. It's actually NS Papamoa, Neighbourhood Support Papamoa. Who else are we needing to? So I've done Mike, I've done Bruce. Colleen is NS Rangi Uru. Na is NS Tauranga at this point in time. So I think that's everybody. So we do sort of need to know who is who. Invite your people, set your date, set your time, start and finish. I always like to now make it an online meeting. And the reason I like to do that is things change. Maybe we are having a get-together at Arataki, but one or two people suddenly can't make it, I need to send them a link so they can attend online. If you make it an online meeting, people can still attend physically, but if anybody needs to attend online, you are able to send them a link. If you don't make it an online meeting, you can't send them a link to join the meeting. So I always set that as default. The other thing to think about over here is who is able to bypass the lobby. If you don't say who can bypass the lobby, then when they join the meeting, they are sitting in the lobby and it says that the meeting organiser will let them in when they're ready. That can be a little bit of a barrier, especially if somebody forgets to let them in. So you can say, look, people in the organisation and guests can bypass the lobby, or everyone can bypass the lobby, or only people who are invited. The trouble with only people who are invited is if people do forward the invite to their personal email account because they're going to attend the meeting on their phone, and maybe on their phone they don't have their neighbourhood support email or whatever, it starts to be a barrier again. So only organisers, I tend to say everyone, so that it's easy for everybody to come in. But I think that's pretty much everything to do with meetings. You can add a location, things like that, and then just hit send. But I'm going to exit out of there. So I hope that was useful. I think that's all I can think of at the moment. Catcha. Ka kite.